Hello everyone, so I'm just recording this video in case you were absent on Wednesday or Thursday of this week because we covered two new topics on Wednesday and Thursday this week, so I want to make sure that everyone can learn those topics. So we learned outcomes number 4 and 7. Outcome number 4 is the triangle angle sum theorem, and outcome number 7 is the triangle inequality theorem. So in class, if you were in class on Wednesday and Thursday, you would have seen that we did this spaghetti activity, which I will post the PDF of that activity. That way at home, you guys can at least see what we did. However, I'm not going to hold you accountable for actually doing that activity because it was just something that we did in class. So you will just be excused from that assignment. However, I do want you guys to do this homework assignment, which is why I'm recording this video. So the triangle inequality theorem states that any two sides of a triangle, the sum of those two sides have to be bigger than the third side. Okay, and I know when I'm saying that out loud, that sounds confusing. So what that means is that if I have a triangle has three sides, right? Well, any two sides added together have to be bigger than the third one. If they're not, then it's not a triangle. So in class, we took spaghetti noodles, obviously uncooked spaghetti noodles, and we created triangles using rulers and measuring the side lengths. And we figured out that if the sum of two sides is less than the third side, it does not actually form a triangle. So that was why we did that activity. It was sort of a way to discover the theorem for ourselves. So what 1 through 4 on this assignment are asking is if these three numbers can be the lengths of the sides of a triangle. So in other words, can 5, 13, and 17 actually form a triangle? So to figure that out, we have to make sure that the sum of any two of those numbers is always bigger than the third side. So I'm going to write down that theorem first, so that way you always have it and you can look back. I'm going to write it at the top of this page. So we kind of wrote it as a conditional statement in class to kind of relate back those if-then statements. So it's if it is a triangle, meaning a shape. If it is a triangle, then the sum of any two side lengths is greater than the length of the remaining side. Okay, so I will make sure that I upload this as a PDF so that everyone can see it. Okay, so now I'm going to look at these three side lengths. I have to decide, will these three side lengths make a triangle? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, side length 1 is 5, side length 2 is 13, side length 3 is 17. I have to write out the sum of every two numbers. So I have to make every combination possible, which means first I'm going to look at 5 plus 13. Well, that is 18. Is that bigger than the remaining side? So is it bigger than 17? It is. So that one's good. Now I'm going to combine this side and see if it's bigger than the remaining side. So I'm going to combine 5 and 17, which is 22. Is that bigger than 13? It is, so we're good. And then the last two side lengths I have to compare are 13 and 17. And I need to see if when I add those two together, is it bigger than the remaining side? Which the remaining side is 5, so the answer is going to be yes, right? So we're going to say, okay, 13 plus 17 equals, I believe that is 30, which is bigger than 5. So our answer would be yes, because that theorem holds for each pair of side lengths. So because when I add any two side lengths, it's bigger than the remaining, that means yes, this would form a triangle. So now let's look at number 2. I'm going to do this one as our last example for that part. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to say, okay, let's test 13 plus 4. Well, 13 plus 4 is 17. Okay, so I added these first two side lengths. By that theorem, it tells me if this is a triangle, 13 plus 4 must be bigger than the remaining side, which is 19. Is 17 bigger than 19? No, it is not. So that means that no, not a triangle. So because the two side lengths added together were not bigger than the third side length, it's not a triangle. So we know right away, because one of them was violated, it's not a triangle. Even if the other side lengths added together are bigger than the third, if one of them messes up, then the whole thing is messed up. So it cannot be a triangle because of the triangle inequality theorem. So you're just saying yes or no for numbers 1 through 4. So 3 and 4 I'll have you do on your own. And then numbers 5 and 6, I'm going to do one of them with you. So it says, given are the lengths of two sides of a triangle. Find the range of lengths for the third side. So right now, they're just giving me 11 and 3. So I know that one side of my triangle is 11, the other side is 3. So what are the possible ranges of lengths for the third side? That's what our mystery is. So there's not just one right answer, there's a range based on the triangle inequality theorem. So what this means is that I need to figure out what side length would make that triangle inequality theorem actually hold. So let's test out a couple different ones. What if I said that this third side length was 15? So then we would need to test it. 11 plus 3, that's our first two, is 14. Is 14 bigger than 15? No, it's not, so that wouldn't work. 15 would not work. Okay, so I'm going to use red and say, nope, 15 doesn't work. Okay, what about 14? And I'll explain to you how I picked out these numbers in just a minute. There is a shortcut for these types of problems. So 11 plus 3 is 14. Is 14 bigger than itself? No, they cannot be equal, so that would be no. Okay, so 14 doesn't work. Well, what about 13? Let's try 13. So 11 plus 3 is 14. Is 14 bigger than the remaining side of 13? Yes. Okay, so 13 works. 12, 11, 10, 9, everything like that would work, right? 11 plus 3, that's going to be bigger than anything smaller than 14. But now we also have to think about the other side of it. So what if I did 3 plus 13? Well, that is bigger than 11. But what if I said that my side length was 7? So let's do a side length of 7. So 11 plus 3 is 14. That's going to be bigger than 7. But what about combining 7 and 3? 7 plus 3 is 10. Is 10 bigger than the remaining side of 11? No, it's not. So that's an issue. That means that 6 plus 3 would be 9. That would also not be bigger than 11. Let's try 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 is not bigger than itself, though. And we want it to be bigger than 11. So now we have to realize that our range must be between 9 and 13. So it has to be any number 9, 10, 11, 12, or 13. Okay? Because when we did 8 plus 3, that was too small. And then when we do anything bigger than 14 or 14 or bigger, it makes it so that way it also doesn't work. So we saw both ends. All right, I know that all of this might just sound all jumbled up and confusing, and it kind of is because right now it just feels like guess and check, right? Right now it just feels like guess and check. However, we are making educational guesses, okay? But the shortcut, so you'll never have to go through this process again, is that we take the two numbers that were given and we subtract them and we add them. So 11 minus 3 is 8. 11 plus 3 is 14. So the range is between 8 and 14, but it can't include 8 and 14. So it is between 8 and 14. That would work for saying your range. All right, and again, I know that this looks hard and it looks confusing because this is a new concept and because it feels like a lot of guess and check. But again, use the shortcut and you will not go wrong, okay? It can't be bigger than the sum of the two sides that are given, and it cannot be smaller than the difference. So you need to find the difference and you need to find the sum, and that is your range. So that's what you'll do for number 6. Again, if you have any questions, email me or we can talk about it in person next week at some point, but try to at least attempt these problems before Friday. And then let me know if you're having any issues with them, because I know you guys weren't here to actually go through me talking through the lesson, which is why I kind of wanted to show you an illustration. But trust me, this guess and check part, I understand, is very hard to wrap your mind around in the beginning. So remember the shortcut, and we'll talk about the guess and check part a little bit more in class. So the last part is looking at triangle angle sum. All right, this is the triangle inequality section. That part's done. That's 1 through 6. So you guys need to do 3, 4, and 6. I did 1, 2, and 5 for you. Still write those down, but I did the work for you so you could see examples. Okay, and now 7 and 8. This is triangle angle sum. All right, so what that tells me, and this is what we discovered in class, is that the 3 angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. And that's always true. No matter what, the 3 angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to do number 7 with you, and I'm going to let you guys do number 8 on your own. All right, so number 7. We have 3 angles, we have a triangle. So I'm gonna outline my triangle first. So I'm just gonna highlight that in red. So here's my actual triangle. Okay, one of the angles is 55 degrees, that's given to me. But I don't know this angle and I don't know this angle. So those are my question marks. Okay, but what do I know about this thing right here? This is a vertical angle pair. So if this side right here is 35, over here must also be 35. And we know that because of angle pairs. So I can easily find this third angle because I know that angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3, so the 3 angles of my triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. And that's always, always, always true. So these are my 3 angles. I already know angle 1 is 55 degrees. I just found that the second angle is 35 degrees. So now I need to solve for what would angle 3 be. Well, 55 plus 35, we can combine those terms. So this is just going back to us solving an equation. All right, so when I combine my like terms, the 55 and the 35, I get that that is 90 degrees. So now I've simplified my equation and I just want to get angle 3. So I'm going to subtract 90 from both sides and I get that angle 3 equals 90 degrees. Okay, so that's great. I got that angle 3 is 90. I found my missing angle. But the question said to solve for x. Okay, so I need to solve for x, which is over here. I want you guys to notice that these are vertical angles. So that 90 and that x plus 102, they are vertical. They're across from each other. I know that vertical angles are congruent. That means they're the same. So then what you would have to do is take your 90 and set it equal to x plus 102. And I will let you guys solve. All you have to do is it's a one-step equation, so you just need to solve for x. Okay, so if you still have questions after this video, definitely email me. I'm happy to help with anything. Again, don't stress too much about this problem right here. I know that it's a lot, and it honestly, it hurt my brain when I was talking about it the first time when I first taught this. So do not stress about it. Like I said, it's just a lot of guessing and checking. Educational guessing and checking, but learning it for the first time, it's overwhelming to see all of these numbers. So don't stress about it. Follow the shortcut, and then we will talk about it more in class. So hopefully this helps. And then these are, again, 2 new outcomes. Make sure that you feel comfortable with them. We're going to talk about them next Monday and Tuesday in class, and then your next test, it's going to be short, just like this last one, is going to be Wednesday and Thursday in class. So make sure you ask me any questions if you have them. All right, thanks, guys.